What is up, everybody? Welcome to Andalusia. This region is in the south of Spain and has a rich history. Moorish palaces, flamenco, and of course, great food. There's lots of ways to travel to this region. If you're coming from North America, you can fly to Seville, but this time I'm flying from England and I found a cheap flight to a coastal city called Malaga. We'll look at the historical sites and learn some practical tips on how to get around the city. Malaga is a nice starting point if you're planning to visit the Golden Triangle of cities known as Seville, Cordoba, and Granada. It's right on the Mediterranean Sea and it's known for its beaches and nightlife. But it also has ruins, cathedrals, and gardens, so it's a nice introduction of things to come if you plan on visiting the other cities. But for now, let's look at the historical sites here in Malaga. Castillo de Gibralfaro. This was built in the 8th century by a Moorish king. From the main plaza, it's about a 30 to 45 minute walk. Remember to bring walking shoes because it's a steep and windy climb. This served as a military stronghold, so you'll find a lot of walls, turrets, and ramparts. It's strategically placed at the very top of the hill, so you get a nice view of the city and the harbor. Next, let's walk down to the Roman amphitheater. This was built in the 1st century CE and then later rediscovered by accident in 1950. This was used for theatrical performances, not combat. So, no gladiators here, just actors. There's an entrance fee, but in my opinion, you can see everything you need to see from the streets.
So behind us we have the Roman amphitheater, and many of the stones were quarried and used to build up other parts of the buildings here at the top.
The stones and columns were repurposed for other nearby buildings, namely the Alcazaba. The Alcazaba was built in the 11th century. It's connected to the Castillo, but it has its own separate entrance. If you want to visit both places, you can purchase a combination ticket. In the Alcazaba, you'll find beautiful examples of Moorish architecture, courtyards, fountains, archways. What I like about this place is that it's very well preserved. Alright, so in this scene, I was delivering a detailed analysis of this historical archway behind me, when suddenly a wild tourist appeared out of nowhere to take a photo. So, shout out to this jolly man. If you know who he is, let me know in the comments below because I'd like to tag him and give him proper credit.
So behind me we have a beautiful fountain and just a great example of some of that Arabic architecture.
And right by this doorway, you can see old material from the Roman amphitheater. Now take a look at this. The architecture is Islamic in style, but you'll notice that it's called the Arch of Christ. This ceiling is also Islamic in style, but its construction was actually commissioned by Catholics during the Reconquista. These are examples of the Mudéjar style, which incorporated Moorish architecture in Christian buildings. We're going to see a lot more of this style throughout Andalusia. Now the characteristics of the Mudéjar style include lobed and multi-grooved arches, ornate moldings, stars, and other geometric patterns. Now personally, I enjoyed the Alcazaba because it was not very crowded and it felt like I had the whole place to myself. And it's like a miniature version of the Alhambra, which we'll visit later on in Granada. Alright, here we have the Cathedral of Malaga, aka Cathedral of Incarnation, aka the One-Armed Lady. The exterior is Renaissance in style, but you can also find some Gothic features. Despite being under construction for 250 years, it was never actually finished. You'll notice that one of the towers is missing, hence the nickname La Manquita, or the One-Armed Lady. If you're into art, you probably already know that Pablo Picasso was born here in Malaga, so if you have time, you can check out the Picasso Museum. His more famous works can be found in other museums throughout the world, but this is a good place to see his earlier works in realism and sculpture. Alright, let's talk logistics. I stayed by the major sites, and here's how I got there. From the airport, I took the C1 train from Terminal 3, and I got off at a stop called Malaga Centro Alameda. Then I took the C2 bus in the direction of Camino de Suarez. About 4 stops later, and bam, you're right in the heart of Malaga. If you're here to see history, I recommend 1.5 days. If you're here to party, stay a couple nights. You can even check out some nearby coastal towns like Nerja and Marbella. Next, we're going to go to Granada. It's about 2 hours by bus, and it's actually really easy. Just go to the bus station. In my opinion, the buses were very comfortable and worry-free. What about you guys? Are you planning to visit Malaga? Have you already been there? What was your favorite thing to do? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, then like the video. And I'll see you guys in Granada.